Welcome, everyone. It's good to see everyone here. If you are tuning in live, which I see we have several people here with us. So if you could just say hi, send us a chat so we can see that we are live and everyone's getting the stream and it's looking good. So if you're watching, please use the comment, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, I think we're on LinkedIn also, Twitter maybe. Restream lets us stream to all the socials. So yeah, if you're watching, just say hi and let us know you're here. And we're getting ready to get started with Tricia Clemens today. So I'm Emily from GoWP, for those of you who may not know me. And we are here today with Tricia Clemens for our GoWP Expert Series Live. And Tricia is our Google Business Profile and Local SEO expert. Google Business Profile is what used to be known as now I don't even remember. What was
Google
it?
My Business, GMB.
Google My Business, GMB.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We've been doing these sessions so long, I forgot what it used to be when that used to be my go-to term for it. So yeah. So if you're here watching, say hi, say where you're watching from, what you're having for lunch, if it's lunchtime where you are. So anything you want to say. I see we've got some folks watching. So hi, Jocelyn. Thanks for saying hi. Really quick, I just want to say a couple words about GoWP in case anyone watching isn't fully familiar with us. At GoWP, we like to say that we create happiness for digital agencies and help them to become more profitable, which in turn creates happiness, right? So that all kind of works hand in hand. So whether you're looking to grow your team with a developer, a copywriter, a designer, or a virtual assistant, or you're interested in outsourcing services, so you don't have to get in the weeds all the time and you can focus more on growth, we have those services also. That's our outsourced white label maintenance and content edit services. So if you're interested in partnering with GoWP and seeing how you can really scale up your agency and continue to scale and grow that with us, we'd love to have that conversation. So please just reach out anytime. We've also built the digital agency owners community over on Facebook. So if you're watching on YouTube, you may not be a member over there. And if you are somebody who enjoys Facebook groups, we'd love to have you. So I'll put the link in the chat after I'm done talking here. And we'd love to have you in there. It's a group of more than 2,000 agency owners where we broadcast and live stream these sorts of events and have conversations, and people ask questions and get insights and share experience and all that sort of stuff. So again, if you have any questions about partnering with GoWP or joining our community, just reach out and we'd love to have that conversation. So today we are here with Tricia Clemens. Tricia is the owner of Your Biz Watchdog, which focuses on local SEO. She helps agency owners by providing white label Google Business Profile management. And she has extensive experience in helping clients with problem Google Business Profile accounts and suspensions through all of her Google Business Profile Fix-It services. She lives in Florida with her rescued dog, Moxie, and we love having these sessions with her because she's just very knowledgeable. People are always coming to these sessions with all kinds of great questions. And it's really a lot of fun because Tricia knows her stuff. So if you have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat now and we'll get to those. But other than that, Tricia, I'm gonna throw it over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Emily. Welcome, everyone. I see Jocelyn, Gail, and a few other people. So welcome. If you all have specific questions, please put them in the chat so that I can see what I can help you with today. And I'm gonna go through a few issues that have been coming up recently, but I also want to see what kind of questions you have specifically. So as Emily said, I'm with yourbizwatchdog.com, and if you have any questions specifically about Google Business Profile that we don't get to, make sure you come here back next month. We'll be same time, same place, but you can also go to my contact page, yourbizwatchdog.com/contact, and I can help you with that. I do my Google Business Profile Fix-It services and also white label monthly management. So just let me know how I can help you there. So if anybody has any questions, make sure you put those in the chat to see what we can get to. Okay, so wanted to kind of start off with talking a little bit about troubleshooting issues with Google Business Profiles. And first, I want to say that working with Google Business Profiles, that every single issue that I come across is a little bit different. There's usually not like a stock, if there's an issue that comes up, not a specific, this is exactly the way it's handled every single time. There's a lot of points that I do have a specific thing that I do. However, having said that, each one, the details of each one and each business is a little bit different. So that's one of the hardest thing with working on troubleshooting issues, is finding out the specifics about each individual business to see how we can resolve the issue. And the other thing is resolving it quickly. One thing you might want to, if it's your business or you've got clients working with it, to make sure that they're aware of when they first realize there's an issue, to make sure that they address it quickly. Especially if you've got a suspension, you can see a drop in rankings, and even once you get reinstated, that drop in rankings can last 2 weeks after the account has been reinstated. So you definitely want to make sure that you're getting really proactive about it. It can really be very helpful when you're doing that. So one of the things, I just want to go over a few things that I've seen lately. And one thing is it kind of has its rounds where it goes around as far as increased phone calls from scammers saying that they need to get your Google business profile verified. Get your account verified. And that's something to make sure, most of you all probably are aware of this, but make sure that your customers and clients are as well, so that if they have somebody there or in their business that's saying, oh, yeah, this is Google, we need to get your profile verified, that you don't continue with that phone call. Those are typically all scammers and looking for a way to basically get money from you and really cause problems with your account. And there has been an increase in that. So please make sure that you let your clients know that those are things that go around. I actually had a client I was working with a few years ago, actually just at the beginning of COVID in 2020. And she was having a big problem with her account. And I actually went to her, and we were sitting there talking, and she got a phone call, and it was one of these scammers. So she had a client come into the business, and at that point, I said, well, go talk with your customer. I'll deal with this with the scammer on the phone. But just make sure that they're aware, so they don't give out any information to someone on their Google business profile. And also, when you're managing profiles, I definitely recommend that you come on as a manager and not as an account owner. Most cases, I typically will, on all of mine, I come on as a manager, and because the business owner really should be the primary owner on that account. I think the only time I typically will come on as an owner is if I'm completely setting it up from scratch, and it's easier to do it that way. And as soon as it's set up, I turn it over to them. So, but other than that, you really need to just be a manager on the account, and making sure that when you're working with, especially with a new client, that they don't have any previous marketing firms on there as an owner. They want to make sure that they've got that ownership, and that there's not someone else on there that, for whatever reasons, may try and take that account from them. I've seen that happen, and it's definitely not good. Okay, so one thing I'm going to go ahead and let's see. If we don't have any questions right now, I'm going to go ahead and have Emily share my screen. And let me see. Okay, yes, it looks like it's sharing. All right, and this is what I want to show you. So this is basically my profile on Google. And one of the questions I get a lot is, how do we add managers? How do we change owners? How do we do that? And so several things is, if you've got someone that's an owner on your account and they're not actually the business owner, I recommend moving them to manager. So you've got the business, and this is you're going to business.google.com. If you've got numerous businesses that you manage, they are you're just going to go from there and click on the business, and then this will show up. This is the new-ish interface. Previously, it looked completely different, but you know how Google, they like to change things up. So one of the things is these 3 vertical dots right here on the profile. This is important for adding and removing users. So one of the things, business profile settings, that's what we're looking at. Managers. This is, so one thing while I have you here and we're at this screen, remove business profile. I just don't recommend clicking that. I have seen in the past where someone thought that remove business profile meant remove the user from the profile. That is not what it means. That means remove and delete the profile, permanently remove this profile. So I stick with managers up here. It just it makes it a lot easier. So, and I need to change my primary owner on here. I've got an old email. Add manager. This is where you're going to add. So like, let's say you are the business owner and you're not the owner on the account. You need to have an owner on it. Go in, put your email address here and invite. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that over the I can't remember how long ago, it's been well over a year, possibly a few years ago. Google has changed the way this works because they don't want people coming in and getting hold of a profile and basically hijacking the profile. So when you're adding a new owner like that and a new manager, you have to wait 7 days before you can really do a lot with that profile. So if you've got someone that should be an owner on the account, you're going to go in and to the business profile settings, managers, add them as an owner. They have to then accept that in their email. And from there, basically, they'll may be able to do a few things, not everything. And they have to wait 7 days to really make changes and updates on it because of that, where Google doesn't want someone to be able to go in and hijack the account. They want to make sure that this isn't someone who's accidentally gotten a hold of the account. And after that 7 days, then you can go in and make them. So let's say here. Right here. So if I'm owner, but let's just say this said manager as well. You can remove it. The primary owner can remove any of them. Also, I can upgrade to the primary owner and save that. So that's how you would move somebody from that doesn't have any access to the account. You need to add them as an owner and then wait and then add them as upgrade them to primary owner. So hopefully that doesn't make any that makes sense. And Emily, let me know if you've got questions about that. But and it's kind of hard to see, like here, edit you. It's hard to realize that's where you're going to click and change them from owner to primary owner or downgrade them to manager. If someone was on the account as owner and they really shouldn't be, they should be downgraded to manager. So that is where we want to look at basically when you're adding people to the account, making sure that they are manager or owner and making sure that that really is what they need to be. Again, business owners need to be owners. Everyone else really should be managers. And when setting up a new profile, I do recommend that not having only one email on the account. Make sure you've got someone else on that account so that if something happens that you do have access to it. So, okay, so I went over that. Another thing that has come up recently is questions about moving and changing address. So for mine, I'm a service area business. My business is currently based in Atlanta, and that will be changing in the next couple of months. I've moved myself, now I'm moving my business, so that takes a little bit of time. So one of the things that a lot of businesses, when you're moving, that you need to know is that your citations become really important. So this has to do with either moving or rebranding. So back in 2019, I believe it was, I did a rebranding. I am currently Your Biz Watchdog. I had a different business name. So I had to come in and change my business name. And some of the things that, and this is goes for whether you're changing the business name or changing location, you need to make sure that your Google business profile is really the last thing that you change when you do any of that. The last thing. There's a long list of things. And Emily, I think I gave you a list that had things like the website, the Secretary of State. You can, if you have a chance and can copy those, you can paste those in the chat. But basically, when you are either rebranding or moving, you need to change whether it's your address and anything else, phone number, email, address, website, all of that stuff. You've got a lot of places that you need to change it first before you touch your Google business profile. And you need to make sure that they match, that those name addresses, that they match before you then change your Google business profile. The reason is because Google wants to be able to trust the information you're changing it to. So some of those things are, first off, your website. So let's say you're changing and moving your address. I had a client that did this recently. She moved from one part of suburbs of Atlanta to a couple of, I don't know, 10 miles, not like quite 10 miles away. But it was actually in a different city. So the first thing we did was made sure that the website was updated, the Secretary of State information is updated. They need to make sure that those match. Also, if your business is one that has things, licenses, a lot of different healthcare things have licenses. Whoops, it looked like my computer went for a minute. Have licenses. Make sure that you contact those agencies, get that information current on those as well, whatever different agencies you have. The Better Business Bureau. And when I talk about Better Business Bureau, they do have a free account. Make sure that you have that information correct on there. And if you don't have a Better Business Bureau account, you can go in and create one, and it is free. I will tell you that if you create the free account, you probably will get calls from them asking you if you want to do the paid version of the account. That's a decision you need to make. It's not one that you need to do, but it's an option. But you will get those phone calls trying to get you to upgrade that. But definitely get the free one. Google has shown that they do put some stock as far in Better Business Bureau as far as trust. If you're listed on the Better Business Bureau, Google does have some more trust in you than if you didn't have that. Another thing is your LinkedIn business page. Make sure that you've got that information. And that's a free page, whether you need to claim it or if you need to set it up, go ahead and do that. I'm going to change here. Let's see here. And because I'm going through these and I just thought I want to show you. So this here is a report in Bright Local. You can sign up for like a 14-day free trial and run a business. As you can see, I need to do some work on mine. That's kind of how it always is. But you can see what I recommend doing is this some type of report to see what's currently there for your business, to see what needs updating. So I mentioned the Better Business Bureau. And I mentioned, let's see, LinkedIn isn't here, but it is one that I recommend you doing. So then checking everything and seeing what they have. So you've got Facebook, Bing, Yahoo Local, Yelp, Foursquare. So these are ones that I would check and make sure that if I'm changing, I have the current updated information, address, and if you're doing a rebranding, the business name. This one needs updating. So I probably should do a citation on that. So these are things, and so some of the top ones to look at before touching your Google business profile: your website, the Secretary of State, licensing agencies, also any local authorities. Like if you've got to sign up for a business license, Better Business Bureau, LinkedIn, Bing, Yelp, Yahoo Local. Those are things that I definitely recommend checking and following up with. Also, if local business organizations, if your business is a member of any local or associations organization, making sure they've got the information update, and any niche sites as well. Make sure that all of those have the new information, again, before touching your Google business profile. Now, the other thing I would do after taking a look at like your citations, what's currently there, I do like to do, I'm not sure which one of these here. So I just did a search for my business name. So search and say, where is my business coming up? Next door. Okay, so that's in the first page. So let's look at that and see on next door, is that does that have my current information? Bright Local, does that have my current information? Here you can see the Better Business Bureau. Crunchbase, that's got it. So basically going through everything that comes up and making sure it's got your business name and address. You can see LinkedIn as well. And then this one, I want to bring this to your attention. This is business.site. If some of you all may or may not be aware of Google's free website, I will show you how to find that in your profile. If I can see which one of these. Yes, here we are. So I'm going to show you how to find that in your profile. Basically, when you're here on your Google Business profile, you're going to click Edit Profile. And you're going to scroll down to Website. And you'll see here it's just got my link to my website. But if you click Edit, right here it says you have a website created with Google. Manage it. So I'm going to also want to show you here. So this is what it looks like. yourbizwatchdog.com/dash.business.site. And so basically this is what it looks like. I need to do some updating on this. It's your cover page. It's got information. It's got updates, which are basically your posts, testimonials, information here, photos that are on your Google Business profile. So first thing is, let me go back to find this. I don't recommend giving this URL out to anyone. However, you can see it is valuable because it's coming up when you're searching for your business name, and it says 15 people have visited my site. Well, you know, those are people that maybe they clicked on make an appointment or call. And here it shows that it's live. So definitely make sure that you create this for you or your client. One thing is when you come on here, typically it has some it pulls things as far as your business name and has lots of dashes and stuff like in there. I do like to edit it, and I prefer, this is just a preference for me, that that this be basically my domain. So I'm yourbizwatchdog.com, so I want this yourbizwatchdog.business.site. Again, that's a preference. It's not really something that I think is going to have a lot of impact on it, but I do like to do it that way. You can change it, but I'm not going to be changing mine because I have it how I want it. But if you come in and you're not published and it says you want to change it, you can change it before you click change. You need to uncheck this box, because if you don't, Google will change and have your main URL and your business profile back to this site, which you do not want. So I'm going to cancel this. But again, if you're changing this, you want to uncheck that box and then click change before you do that. I'm going to cancel because I'm not making any changes to it. The reason I bring this up is that, again, when we were searching, if I can find here, you can see that this comes up on the front page. So Google is showing that information out there. Google, so to me, it's important. I do get clicks from it. It takes 5 minutes to set up, so therefore it's worthwhile to go ahead and do. And so from there, basically, back to the original first thing was you're making a change to your name as far as a rebranding or your address. Make sure you're going through your branded search and making sure everything is correct on here. Okay, so from there, the next place I would look. Make sure, yes, I did your free website from Google. And then from there, the next step would be to change your business name or address. Having said that, I do recommend doing it, not doing it on a Friday, maybe doing it on a Monday if you're making that change, because both of those are one of the top reasons that Google can suspend your account, and suspend it simply because you made a change on something that's really a basic part of your business. Even, you know, businesses move, so changing the address is legitimate. However, Google wants to make sure. So that way, if you've done all of this other work, Google puts more trust in it. And also, if by chance it gets suspended, it can get reinstated, hopefully rather easily. I had a client couple of months ago. They moved, and one of the things with moving as well, you will most likely, not all the time, but most likely ask for a re-verification. And one of the things that you need to be prepared to do is a video verification. That's something that's a little bit newer. It's becoming more and more the norm for Google to have that, where basically Google wants you to show them, you know, this is your address, this is where you are, to get that address re-verified and your profile re-verified. So that's why I recommend doing it towards the beginning of the week. You don't want to have like the weekend and not be verified, and or have a suspension. So so that's why I recommend doing it at the beginning of the week, getting everything ready and then waiting till Monday and then making that change. That way, if you do come across issues, you've got the whole week to work with Google and get that back as quickly as you can. Okay, so and Emily, let me know if we have any specific questions, because I am going to, let's see, I went over the branded search. One of the things I want to go over is let's see, it's in labs, and it is Google's SGE Search Generative Experience. I have a link to YouTube video from a recent meetup that I did. My friend Andy Simpson did the meetup, ran it, and showed a little bit about this. And just so you know, it says here ends December 2023. So this is an AI thing, and I would say I am using it to gather information, not necessarily because it is basically they're testing things. It's not something, and which means they're always changing things. So for me, I'm saying, well, you know, we don't need to jump in and just start changing everything, but it's a good way to get some information. So if you and I did, let me see, from what I believe when I signed up for this, it would not let me use my Google Workspace email account. So use a Gmail account. When you get here, it'll say you need to sign up for it, and you just sign up for it here. And I did go into my Workspace and make sure that it accepted and said I could use things like this that are in beta mode, but it still wouldn't let me use this SGE Experience. So let me show you what it is. If you click on try an example, this is what comes up. Google just makes up an example. I want to show you, and you can see this is basically the AI, and which is like the AI search. So basically Google is, everything is, all these AI things are coming out. Do we need to like jump and make changes immediately? No. So that's the biggest takeaway from this. But one of the things I really thought was neat, if you go in and do a brand search. So this one here, it doesn't have a brand search. When you looked over here at this one, this was already up. This is how it came up. Let me see if I can do this. Try an example. And that's what came up. So you can see this is basically the SGE. But if I type in mine, Google hasn't done one for me. So I'm going to say, okay, well, go ahead and generate one for me. And this is what I find that's interesting. So all this information tells you about my business. Also, it does have, like, you'll look over here and see the different places. So you can see where Google's pulling the information. So that kind of is telling me that Google's looking a lot at these citations, not these tons and hundreds of citations, but some of these important things that Google thinks might be important. Yelp, you can look here and show where they're pulling it. It takes the fourth one before it's pulled up my website. So you can see it's getting a lot of information from places that are not your website. Next door, my other website, then the Better Business Bureau. One of the things, so you can see, ask a follow-up question. You can click on those. This is something that might be good, you know, as far as questions for your website. Whoops, let me show you where I clicked on. So if you're thinking, well, where did all of this information over here? This is Google pulling information from online, from all these different sources, trying to determine, to give you results on the search. And it's not basically like this, you're given websites. This, the AI, it's giving you information. So where is the information coming from? They've termed this the bear claw. So if you click on that, it tells you, okay, so this is coming from Bright Local and the website, my website. This is coming from Bright Local and Yelp. This is where it's pulling these from. So you can see the different places that that it's pulling information from. And I thought that was really important to see all the different places that Google is pulling things from when they're looking at things as far as creating AI. Again, AI, it's new. It's most likely going to be changing every other day, or if faster. So, but it's just interesting to see. And that's another thing. If you're making some big changes to your business, as far as the business name, rebranding, your address, anything like that, I think it's interesting to see that these things that, so like, let's see, Bright Local, that is a citation. Let's see what that, yes. So I've got a profile on Bright Local. So basically, these are just, you can see where Google's pulling it. And I like to make sure that all of these things have the correct information, especially if you're going in and changing things. And then you're going to be updating your Google business profile. So just something I thought was pretty neat to look at. It was the SGE. I don't know that that's how a lot of people are using it, but I thought it was interesting, and it's kind of a way that that I kind of wanted to see. And again, you can ask different, and you can ask your own follow-up questions here. You can click on and have Google do their follow-up questions. So just lots of different things you can do with that. Okay, so let's see. Next thing, and unless there are any questions, any specific troubleshooting questions, I'm going to next talk a little bit about reviews. So I'm going to go ahead unless Emily has any questions that people specifically have. But before I get to reviews, I see something I want to tell you. I recommend installing this. This is a Chrome extension. I know they've got it, I think, on Firefox as well. And it is called Pleper, P-L-E-P-E-R. I'm not sure where that is over here. So when I pull up, and I've got my business here on the map, this box over here is Pleper. And you can see it says ranking fluctuation detected. Basically, that means it looks like there might be an algorithm update. So if your rankings are going a little bit haywire, that could be why. It's not something that you need to really jump on. Wait and see what happens with once things have settled down, and then see what the result of that is. But I think it's really important to know from Pleper, you've got some things in here. This is the link to give people to write a review. This number here, CID. So this is a number that I recommend you grabbing for your business profile and any and all of your clients' business profile. If you have an issue on your Google business profile, this CID number can be very helpful. And it can be, not always, but it can be very helpful. I've had instances where clients have come to me with pretty severe issues with Google and their profile. And basically, because I had that number, I was able to get it resolved. And as where if I did not have that number, I may not have been able to get it resolved. And so that's just something that I do recommend. This is the Pleper, P-L-E-P-E-R extension this is in Chrome, and they do have one for Firefox. So again, something I recommend making sure that you have their CID. A lot of times when somebody comes to me with a Google Business Profile Fix-It issue, one of the first things I ask is, if they have their profile on the map, I grab it. If they have an issue where the account is suspended and it's not showing on the map, that's when I will ask them if they have it. So it can definitely be helpful. So, okay. And another thing I want to mention is, before I get to reviews, are UTM codes. I know I've mentioned them before, but want to go ahead and mention them again. You can see that my link over here is yourbizwatchdog.com, but when you hover over it and then you can see the full link here, you'll notice all this additional information after my website. Those are UTM codes, and I recommend that so that you can track what's going on with your business profile. And here is, I like to use, I just type in UTM Generator, and make sure you use the one on Google. And I believe that Emily has that link she can give to you. But if not, just search UTM Generator and make sure that it is the one here that has ga-dev-tools.google. Make sure that that's the one that you're using. Most of the other ones are okay, but simply because it's a Google one, I prefer to use it. And the main things you'll do with that, and basically this is just what I'm going on over here, is creating this link. So on that one, I didn't have this. I wanted to use a full URL for my specific service for my Google Business Profile Fix-It services. And that's because I said, okay, I wanted to do a post and have it talk about my Google Business Profile Fix-It services. So put your URL you're going to use here, the source, and this is basically wherever you're going to put this URL. So this is even if you're going to use, put it somewhere like, let's say on YouTube, maybe you would change that instead of source Google Maps, it would be YouTube. Campaign medium, I have organic. You could, if you're using a pay-per-click campaign, you could have that PPC. Campaign name, this is just something more specific that tells me what I was doing. So on this one, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a Google Business Profile post, and this is what the specific topic is going to be about. A couple of things to note when you're doing these UTM generators: keep everything lowercase, no capitals, and if you are going to have separate words, no spaces, use dashes. Don't use underscores, don't use spaces, use dashes. So make sure that that's how you're going to set that up. And then basically scroll down, and then you can copy it here. So let's see, when I did mine, whoops, if I can find it again. Nope, I'm sorry about that. I'm going from, okay. So I had organic GMB listing because that was all Google Maps, organic, Google Maps, organic. And so I have GMB listing because it used to be Google My Business. I'm not changing that because when you have reports, I want to be able to compare them. And so in order to do that, basically having that, I leave it at GMB and do not update it to GBP. If you're starting fresh and you haven't done anything, then yeah, you could put GBP. So I went ahead, Google Maps, organic, GMB listing, and you can see this then gives me that URL that I'm going to be using over here in my Google profile. You can see probably at the bottom. But here it is over here, the whole thing. So that's how you create that UTM tracking code. Highly recommend that for using for your Google Analytics when you're working with your Google Business Profile and tracking those. Okay, let's see. I think that is everything that I want to share on that. So I'm going to, Emily, if you want to go back to just having me on the screen and not sharing the screen. Okay, good. All right. Yes, good. Thank you for getting that, Pleper. That's one of the ones I did not get. I see here in there. Thank you, Emily, for doing that. Okay. So any questions? The next thing I want to talk about are different things for reviews. Oops, what happened to my background? Anyway, sorry about that. There. Okay, so don't know why my background went away, but anyway, hopefully that I'm glad I had my little bit of stuff up here. Okay, so I don't see any questions, so I'm going to talk a little bit about reviews because those are some of the things that I've seen quite a few questions about recently, and they can be difficult to work with and get a resolution for. So I wanted to go over a couple of tips from them for reviews and let you know a couple of things about them. So let's see. About a year and a half ago, the FTC, they basically went after a business for basically review gating the way they were showing reviews on their website. The end result was, I believe it was $4.2 million fine against this business. And you can research that at the FTC. There's ftc.gov/reviews. You can take a look at that site and see get more information about it there. But one thing to note from that, I think it's probably not far off to say that right after that is when Google really started tightening up their review filter. And it's probably a reason for that. They probably looked at what the FTC was doing and said they wanted to go ahead and update their and increase their filter for their review. So what does that mean for businesses? I would say one of the things is the way everything works. You've got people that are doing things the proper and legitimate way, and some of those are getting caught in this review filter, meaning that some reviews that are posted that are legitimate for legitimate businesses are not going live on the map. So basically, you may have a client that says, "I left you a review," and then you look and you say, "Well, I don't see it." And basically, the clients, when they log in and they're logged in, they can see it, but it's not live. No one else can see it. Another thing is Google has gone in and reviews that have been live have then taken them down off of the map because they said they weren't valid. So those are just things to keep in mind. There is a link that you can use. I would say. Okay. So looking at the question there. So if you've got reviews that have gone missing or reviews that have not gone live, I do recommend reaching out to Google. And I think that Emily has that link in there, support.google.com/business/get-help. And Emily's going to put that in the chat for you all. And basically, I recommend reaching out to Google with that and not with your with social media. It's all going to go through there anyway. So definitely don't use social media to reach out for that. You're going to get a better response going to that Get Help. One tip is when you're doing that, make sure that you are logged in as the primary owner on that business profile when you're contacting. That's something that that I do think can make a difference on there. So reach out and hopefully you can get some results from that. I have had clients that have done that and have gotten results. Sometimes there are instances where they still have an issue. And if that's the case, we may be able to do some additional work to try to get it back. But it would take some additional work, and you can reach out to me and see. So let's see, I think was your next one, Emily, I think you have a question here, but I'm not sure what the question is about having reviews that have gone missing or being removed from the profile. Hey.
Yeah, Hello. So I think that one was just someone was relating to that. So they had
Yes.
some reviews missing and removed, and they reached out to that link that you
Hmm.
suggested, and they got a response in less than an hour.
Oh,
So
good.
oh
Yeah,
wait, but it
that's
says got a response in less than an hour, which was no help, looked to be automated. So I'm not sure if that person
definitely.
submitted through the Google Help or not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So with that, I would say, so unfortunately, sometimes when you're doing that, um, having a little bit of experience and knowing really how to talk with Google can be helpful. But I would definitely continue that. Typically, when they get back to you, it's through an email. So you want to respond in that email and continue, because sometimes they do have an automated response, and then follow up and ask specific questions. A couple of things that I want to note when you're responding to Google on that. I know it can be extremely frustrating when talking to Google, especially through those emails, when you feel like that possibly they're not understanding what you're saying and they're not getting the point of the question. So I would say, kind of take a step back and just be as concise and polite as you can. Getting frustrated with them, maybe do that separately and then come back and write an email that doesn't reflect that. Even though I know how frustrating it can be, that's something that definitely may be able to help. But I would respond to that email. If you've said something and gotten a stock response, respond to it and see what happens. And if you still have issues with it, you can contact me and see if there's anything else that we can do about it. There are some different back channels that we can occasionally work through, that I have had that have worked at times. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. That's just something to be aware of.
Thank
So,
you, Tricia. And
mhm.
the other question that that someone had is just if you could quickly review Pleper again. They missed what the use case was for that, and
Sure, sure.
how to use it.
So, yeah, if we want to go and share this, share my screen, and I will go back over. Can you see my, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, okay. Well, let's see. I don't want to do that. Can you see my screen now? Hopefully. Okay. Yes. All right. So Pleper. So the reason I like Pleper is one of the biggest reasons is it makes it easy to get this, what's called the CID number. So let me just say, on this number, let's hope that you never need to use this. And this is just taking 5 minutes out of your day to get this number and save it and keep it for safekeeping. Having said that, there might be a time where you really need it. And if you haven't already gotten this number, you're not going to be able to if your profile is not live on the map. Sometimes when you're dealing with suspensions, your business could be what's called a hard suspension, where basically they take the listing off the map. You can log into your dashboard and request reinstatement, but it is not on the map and you can't access this number. This is something that's sometimes can be helpful, not all of the time, but I do like to get this number so that I know. And so, for example, here in Pleper, the second one here at the bottom is a link to that. So if I copy this link address and open it up in a new tab, it's going to bring me right back to this. So that's just basically the link, the internal link for Google. And it can be really important to make sure that you've got that CID number. So, and then it also, you can look here and see all of this here is pretty much in your Google business profile, your reviews. You can also from here get the link here to write a review. So basically copy that link address, and that's what you would give to people, and it pops right up to leave a review. Because I'm logged in and I manage this profile, it's not going to come up. So if you copy that review and open it in a different tab, it is going to just give you your dashboard, because Google is not going to let you leave a review for business that you manage. So I would just go into a different browser that you're not logged into an account that you're manage your profile with, and you'll notice that it will come up to then leave a review. So those are the two important things that I would say that are good for Pleper. It can be used for lots of other things. You can see here all the different links to different things for the business where it finds things. But that's what I specifically use it for, is this CID and then the link to write a review. Those are two of the main things I use it for. So hopefully that answers. Does that answer all the questions on that?
It does, yeah. So if anyone else has, can you hear me now? If anyone else has any other questions, just post them. I'm watching. Let's see. Eric is asking, how did you get to the screen extension installed? I shared the Pleper link, so that should be helpful. Is there anything else tricky?
No, just when you basically, when you're using your Chrome extension, you can go to Chrome and click on extensions and then type in Pleper, and lots of times it will come up and say add it to your browser.
Okay,
so, yeah,
great.
Yeah, just like any other extension, when you're adding extensions to your Chrome browser. So the only other, that's the main thing I wanted to go over. Did want to cover just a few more things, unless there are any questions. If there are questions, I'll definitely take them. If not, I wanted to go over a few more things about reviews. One is fake reviews. So we have seen there's always talk of different fake reviews, and that can mean several different things when we say, fake reviews. Anything from there are these scamming companies out there that do sell reviews, and they are against Google guidelines, against FTC guidelines. You definitely, I know most of you all probably know, don't buy reviews. Please make sure that your clients and your customers are aware of this if you're managing profiles for businesses, because it seems like it would kind of be something that's obvious, but I know that there are some that there aren't aware of that and think that, oh, I just want to get a few reviews, and so it looks like I've got stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and just buy a couple. That is a huge mistake. A few things you can, there are scammers out there that sell positive reviews for your business, also sell negative reviews for competitors. And then there are, one of the things, these businesses, once they buy reviews, if they don't continue to buy reviews, then the company will turn around, and if they bought positive reviews, will turn around and turn those positives into a negative review. So then they're under a review tax. So I would say that just do it the right way from the beginning. If there are businesses that, and I know sometimes, like, I'll see them where people might get an email or a message on Facebook or something like that, where it says, we're selling reviews. I do not respond to that at all, because once you respond, then they might want to do a back and forth with you. My recommendation, if you get any type of message about any, buying reviews, ignore that. Do not respond to them. If it's something that you want to report to Google, you can definitely screenshot and do that, but do not respond to them. That just kind of gets them to where they want to do a back and forth, and you definitely don't want to have to deal with a review attack. And for one thing to note is that Google has been known to lock down reviews for an account that is under attack. And so let's say, for example, a business all of a sudden has a ton of, and let's say mostly negative reviews. Google can lock an account down from getting new reviews for a time period. Those are typically accounts where you can see that there are a huge number over a small period of time. And the other thing is that a lot of times Google does look for a reason for it. Like, let's say there was something that was in the media, and for that reason, Google, there are a bunch of people that were not customers in any way, shape, or form, and just bombarded them with negative reviews, like hundreds of negative reviews. And in that point, Google has been known to lock that account down as far as getting new reviews. You do have to request it. So those are things to just note. And so let's see. The other thing is I have a link for managing reviews. It's a support.google.com. It's a workflow, and I'm going to have Emily put that in the chat. So if you've got a review that you believe for whatever reason is not a legitimate review, I recommend you going to the map and flagging that review on the map and flagging it as inappropriate, and then wait a few days, see what the response is on that. And then if you still, yes, fake reviews, managing reviews. So so first off, go in and flag it on the map, the review. Then you're going to go to that link for managing reviews. And you want to make sure that you are logged into your the primary owner on your account, and go to that link and then report the review. And then from there, you'll wait a few days. You'll once you get a response, see what the response is. From there, you can then go in and ask for review if it wasn't to your liking. If they decided to leave the review, go in and ask for them to basically review it again. And at that point, they give you like a case ID number, and then you wait some more time. From there, hopefully you'll be successful in getting the review removed. If not, let me know. There might be some additional things we can do. There may not. It really all depends on each specific one. Okay, so I have a question here. How important is creating posts on a Google Business Profile? And do the posts need to be unique? Can you post the same content on LinkedIn? Okay, so Google Business Profile posts. I don't recommend that you do the same thing as you do on LinkedIn or other social media. I do think they can be definitely be important. It's one of those things I think I've as far as helping with conversions and things. I like to do at least one a week on a profile. And as far as the content on them, I would say it should be something you're using that as your ad. So it needs to almost be less like, read a recent blog post that gives information, and more of like, this is their product or service where it tells them, almost like an ad, like why they would want that service, and then a link to purchase it or schedule a call with you or something like that. Your Google Business Profile posts are less social media looking posts and more posts along the lines of a short ad for your product services. So hope that answers that. And I think we're running out of time today. So I'm going to see what other questions. Emily, are there any other questions that we have?
I think I've got them all to you. Let me just check, because at one point our YouTube chat somehow broke and we weren't getting them over here anymore. Okay. So I had to keep going back over to YouTube. Sure. But it looks like we got them all. So unless anyone has a burning question that they're typing out right now, we will kind of, do a little vamping and see if another one comes in. But I think you've answered them all, and you've answered them all very thoroughly. So thank you, Tricia.
Good. And so I just kind of wanted to go through a few just different troubleshooting things that I saw that were coming up, but there are always different issues that come up every week. There's this, different things. So definitely, if you've got a question for a future episode, please post it on one of these in the Facebook group so that we can make sure that we address it.
I do see that Jocelyn has asked that she doesn't see the option for the business site.
Okay, so make sure that you are clicking where like you would go to edit your URL. If it is not there, then you would want to reach out to the Get Help section in your Google Business Profile and tell Google that it's not there and request it. That is something when Google changed to this new dashboard that looks a lot different than it used to, that originally it's had issues as far as not being there. Most of that has gone away, and most of the ones now I manage do have it there. So I would reach out to Google and tell them that you are missing the link to your business.site website with free website with Google, and ask for assistance there. But go back and make sure, look at this video and make sure that you're clicking on, like you're going to update your URL in there. You don't actually do it, but scroll down a little bit and it'll say, it'll have that. It should have that. It does not always. There are instances where I have seen that it's not there. And from that, you'd need to, it's a bug, and you need to reach out then to Google about that. Oops, I can't hear you, Emily.
I muted myself.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Tricia. I just posted in the comments the link to your 30-minute consult for agencies, so people can reach out to you there. You're also in the Facebook group, so people can find you in there. And we will be back again next month with Tricia for more Google Business Profile and local SEO experience, knowledge, know-how, all of that. As you can see, Tricia's been amazing, and she really knows her way around this stuff. And Tricia, thank you. There's comments coming in from folks saying they've learned a lot and are applying it and learning as you're going through it also. It's really, really fantastic. Thank you so much. Perfect. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. We'll see everyone next month.
All right. Thank you, everyone.